Thank you. Please refrain yourself from talking about sex, religion, and politics in a demeaning manner. Please switch off your audio unless required, and people attending meeting offline can please avoid any movements that distracts the speaker. Now we are set for the meeting. I request Toastmaster Pragya to take over the meeting.
Thank you, Sergeant at Arms, for that warm welcome to all of us, and welcome to the people who are joining us in person as well as offline. Today's session is a really interesting session for all of us. The contest season is arriving. It is giving us opportunities to grow much, much, much more than what we do in regular scenarios. It's an exciting, fun-filled, and nerve-wracking experience, I must say. Anytime that I have been into contests, these are the three words that came to my mind. Before I start the details about the contest and the process that will be followed today, I welcome all the dignitaries from our district leadership who are present in the meeting and of the meeting in person here. Today's session is going to be separated into these following parts. The first segment is going to be an education session on humorous speech contest, which will be delivered by Toastmaster Subramaniam. Then we'll have, Toastmaster Sivaraj. The second segment, then we'll have a break for some time for all of you to sink in all the knowledge that you have learned and also go in for your refreshments. After that, we'll have the next segment, which will be about evaluation speech contest, which will be delivered by Toastmaster DTM Subramaniam. We'll have the session first, then we'll have a test speech, which will be delivered, and we will be randomly picking up few evaluators who will be presenting their evaluation. They will also get a feedback from DTM Subramaniam as to what and how could they have done the things at the next level. So everyone, are you excited? You can unmute in case you can unmute yourself and let us know how excited are you for today's segment. So let's see whether the excitement is high online or whether it is high in the in-person meeting. Can I have a shout from the in-person meeting? Yeah. Can I have a shout from the online meeting?
Yeah, we are excited. Well, no, we cannot.
I know. Oh, that made it all. So I know all of us are super excited for going on this learning journey that we are going to have today. We have already been told the ground rules by the Sergeant at Arms. So I would request that please keep a check on your mute, unmute buttons, because many a times you might get disturbed if your buttons are unmuted unconsciously. If you have any queries during the session, we do have a display here, so you can write it in the chat box, and the people delivering the session or one of the hosts will help us to read the questions out to the educator over here. Also, if you have any more questions afterwards, in lieu of time, if we have to give a break, you can ask those questions towards the end of the meeting. So it's not that you have to just attend one, run away, have the whole experience that we have planned for you here today. So let's start with the first segment of our meeting, which is the humorous speech education session, which will be delivered by Toastmaster Sivaraj. May I please have Toastmaster Sivaraj?
Check, check. Am I audible? Check, check. Am I visible? Fine.
Wow.
Thank you so much, everyone. So from the online people, am I audible and visible to you? I want, special response from you.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Aditya, Imran, and Srinivas Rao. So yeah, my name is Shivraj, and I'm from Accelerators Miapur Toastmasters Club. And I've been a part of this fraternity from past 5 years now. And in 2021, I was second runner-up for District 98 in Humorous Speech Contest. So before starting, I want to know how many of you present here today are willing to take part in Humorous Speech Contest? I know this might be a stupid question, but still I want to, gauge the audience perspective. How many of you are really, willing to take part in Humorous Speech Contest this year? Great. From offline, 1, 2. Okay, from online. Okay, fine. Now, how many of you have already taken part in Humorous Speech Contest in the past? Great, great. So this makes my session easy, much more easy. Thank you so much. So my first question to everyone of you sitting here and everyone watching from online is, how many of you feel that humorous speech is little more difficult than other speeches in Toastmasters? Let it say a normal pathway speech or a contest speech. How many of you feel that it is a little more difficult? Okay, from online? Great. Now I want to understand, what is your difficulty point or what is your pain point in drafting a humorous speech? Why do you feel it is difficult in general? Okay, making people laugh is a tough job. Okay, your life is too boring. Okay, you are not funny. Okay. 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 Okay, that is your style of humor, sir. Okay.
What kind of humor will get that?
Okay. Okay, fine. Perfect. That's the main point, to craft a humorous speech. You have to be shameless on stage. Anyone from online, why do you feel that humorous speech is a little bit difficult?
Like it's difficult to mix fun during a speech actually.
Okay. Okay. It's difficult to add humor into the speech section. That's what you mean, right?
To get the proper timing. Sometimes
Okay.
while trying to being funny, we tend to disrespect other. That is the
Okay.
main concern. We should not disrespect anyone.
Okay. You mean to
Just to make
say,
fun.
when you crack a joke, nobody should get offended with your
Yes,
joke.
yes.
Okay. In that way, you can crack joke on yourself, right? In that
Yes,
way, nobody will
fine.
get offended. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? It's just an interactive session. There's no right answer, no wrong answer.
Adding humor and staying relevant to the message which you want to
Okay.
convey to your audience.
Okay. Okay. Perfect.
With
That is a valid point.
me,
Okay.
the challenge is, I think the humor that you want to put in, most of the people have already heard it either on WhatsApp or Instagram or something. So when you crack the humor, people are like, "Oh, we already know this."
Okay. Okay. So you do not have ideas to build jokes or to build humor. There's nothing new. Everything is already there on the internet. That's what you feel, right?
Nothing new. I think everything's there on the internet.
Okay, fine. So I just last answer from offline and one last answer from online. Why do you feel humorous speech is difficult? Anyone
The
from offline?
humor should be relatable so that the audience should get it.
Okay, fine. Now someone was there from the online. Can you repeat? I'm sorry.
The joke or the line which are trying to say, it should be relatable so that the audience should easily get it. It should be understandable.
Okay, fine. Consider all the answers from you people. So in this session, let us make sure all your queries are answered in a proper way, and you get a proper idea on how to craft a humorous speech and how to add humor and what are the important points to keep in mind when you are crafting a humorous speech. Perfect. Now, I want to play a small video. Just a second. Can you help me? No, I cannot see that video here. Not this one. Downloads. No, it will be on downloads. Yeah. How to share this? Is it being shared? Can you share it? This is not the video. Share the screen. Yeah, share the screen. Okay, can you play the video? Can you play? Just play it now.
You'll have to share your computer sound.
Yeah, 1 second. We are doing that. Sandeep, can you help? Just share that. It's there already in the background. WhatsApp video. Yeah, this one. Is sound?
It will come.
Okay, just wait. Okay, is it audible to the online people?
Yes, yes, it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, 1 minute. I'll just play that video once again.
గుడ్ ఈవినింగ్ అంకుల్. గుడ్ ఈవినింగ్. ఆఫీస్ అయిపోయిందా? అయిపోయింది. కొలీగ్స్ ఎలా ఉన్నారు? ఒక అమ్మాయి బాగుంది అంకుల్.
Okay.
ఎవరు కంట్రోల్లో ఉండదు.
Okay, so I think online people, you have heard this video. So how many of you understand the language Telugu? Okay, most of us, right? Now, those who did not understand the video, it's very simple. It's a conversation between two people, his uncle and hero. The uncle, it's the first day of office of that person, and the uncle asks, how was the office? He says the office was good. The uncle asks, how are your colleagues? Now, what is the general answer you say when someone asks, how are your colleagues? They will say the colleagues are very supportive. The colleagues are very helpful. Now, that person said, a girl is gorgeous. Now, you tell me, why did you laugh when the person said the girl is gorgeous? Any reason?
Different answer.
It's
Okay,
deception. What we are expecting. What we are expecting something and it delivers something else. That's what I feel.
Great. Subramaniam sir said the setup and twist was there. So why I played this video is I want to ask you people, how is humor generated, or how does humor take its form? Simple question. How is humor generated, or how does humor takes its form? Any answers from offline? Okay, adding unexpected things. Anyone else? Sometimes foolish things are funny. Anyone from online? How is humor generated?
Which defy logic. It does not fit in the logic.
Okay,
Just
okay.
go out of the box, like something like that.
Perfect. Out of the box. Anyone else?
Giving
Abnormal answers.
Okay, abnormal answers. You set them for something and you deliver something else. Any other answer? Anything else? The last answer.
Giving nonsense answers.
Okay, when you surprise with the answers. Perfect. Now, all the answers which you people have given is correct. Now, let me tell you my story. Even, when I was about to participate in Humorous Speech Contest, even I attended a lot of humorous speech sessions. And in one of the sessions, the trainer said, humor takes form when there is a violation. Now, I really did not understand what does he mean. But what he actually meant is when your expectations are broken, or when the rules are broken, when something has to happen naturally, but you're tweaking that logic and you're telling something else, that's when humor takes its form. As simple as that. Even Aristotle said once, humor is nothing but a surprise. Now, I'll tell you a simple scenario. I was in class 10. I was writing the social examination. My roll number was 30. And, behind me, there was a person called Amit. His roll number was 31. So I was seriously writing the exam. And it's obvious we cheat in exams. So Amit was continuously pulling my shirt and he's saying, Shiva, please turn back. I was like, Amit, please wait. I'm writing my answer. Let me complete. He said, no, Shiva, I have a small doubt. Please, I'll just finish it and I'll leave. I said, Amit, wait. I'm writing the answer. I'll pass on my sheet to you. He said, no, Shiva, please turn back. Now I turned back. Can you expect what did that person ask me? Any expectations? A 10th class boy in a social examination, what is the question which you would have asked me?
You might have asked eraser or sharpener.
No. Anything else?
Map.
No, not even map. I was expecting something serious that he'll be asking me something serious.
Like what's the subject?
Today's subject.
Okay. Today's subject, that is good answer. Today's date, that is good answer. Anything else? Okay. Which exam is today? That is also a good answer. Anything else?
Your roll number or the exam hall ticket number.
Perfect. Hall ticket, that is also fine. Now I'll tell you what that person asked. When I turned back, he said, Shiva, what is the spelling of country? Now I'm in 10th class, he's in 10th class, and that person is asking the spelling of country, that in social exam. I looked at him like this and I said, CUOUNTRY. So this is how humor is generated. You set up a logic and then you tweak the expectations. That is a simple principle, a simple fundamental idea behind the humor. Set up and twist. This technique, we'll talk about it once again as we move further. So quick yes or thumbs up in the chat box if this concept of how humor is generated is clear. Yes, from online audience. Perfect. Now let's move on to the next concept. And this is something important which I had to discuss because this came up in one of the leadership discussions as well. A lot of people are telling humorous speeches have become stand-up comedy nowadays. Now, I want to understand from you people, how many of you think humorous speech and stand-up comedy is one and the same? If you think they're not one and the same, why? If you think they're one and the same, why?
Humorous speech and stand-up comedy are not the same.
Yeah. Can you just tell me the reason why do you feel they are not the same?
Because when we are having stand-up comedy, we are having punch in each and every line.
Okay,
right?
okay.
But in humorous speech, there has to be one message which needs to be shared. But when you're trying to share that message, the twists and turns, which will make people smile.
Okay, okay.
Different from the stand-up comedy.
Okay, anyone else?
I think
It's both are different.
it's not
Stand-up comedies are not theme-based. They just pick up the topic randomly and just go on and go on.
Subramaniam sir, you were telling something. Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay. 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 So you said you can have fun, you can crack jokes throughout the 6 minutes, but that 1 minute, only that 1 minute there should be a message. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, okay. Anyone else from online?
I think a humorous speech has to be organized with a proper opening, body, conclusion, and I think stand-up comedy doesn't have it. Second thing, if it's Toastmasters, you have to follow the ground rules. Stand-up comedy, no ground rules
Okay,
at
let's
all.
keep aside the ground rules, not required. Anyone else from the offline? Yeah, anyone? What is the difference between stand-up comedy and a humorous speech? Perfect. Yeah, Pragya.
So stand-up comedy is an accumulation of jokes and one-liners and stuff. Humor speech is more of a speech where humor is sprinkled over a structure.
Got it. Exactly. So anyone else from online? Last answer.
Humorous speech definitely needs target audience. It is to keep someone the message outline in mind, along with twisting and tweaking it. When it comes to stand-up comedy, it could be amalgam of crowd. Like it is not specific to any specific target audience. It could be amalgam, different ages to cover, or probably different backgrounds.
But don't you think even in Toastmasters there is an amalgamation of audience? Like there are people from college clubs, there are people from corporate community.
Yes,
so
that's how definitely when we choose our topic, we do that research. What message could fit to these amalgam of crowd? That is one part of even deciding on that.
Okay, perfect. Now let me give you this simple example, which I always give. This might sound weird, but trust me, it will help you to understand the difference between stand-up comedy and humorous speech. How many of you are a fan of Mahesh Babu here?
Me, Toastmaster Rajita.
Great. If people who do not know who is Mahesh Babu, he's a superstar from South India. Now, how many of you watched this movie called Brahmotsavam of Mahesh Babu? Yes, no, maybe? Perfect. Now, in 2018, I was in third year of BTech, and I'm an ardent fan of Mahesh Babu. And when the movie was released, I booked my tickets first day, first show, expecting the movie will be amazing. I went into the theater. 10 minutes into the movie, I started cursing Mahesh Babu. Why did this person select this movie? Did he even listen to the script? There is no story. There is no structure. It's just a random set of scenes put together. And 30 minutes into the movie, I dozed off. And I came out, that too when my friend, woke me up. I cursed Mahesh Babu. In contrast, when I was a kid, my father took me to this beautiful movie of Mahesh Babu called Atadu. I enjoyed the movie. After watching that movie, I became a fan of him. And when I came out of the movie, I was able to summarize the entire movie in 2 lines. Because the director had a proper structure of the movie, proper story of the movie, and there was something which the director wanted to convey out of it. Same goes with stand-up comedy and humorous speech. Stand-up comedy is similar to Brahmotsam, though Brahmotsam is a serial, it's a torture, but stand-up comedy is funny, it's entertaining. Stand-up comedy does not have a structure, it does not have transition, it does not have a direction, it does not have a specific purpose, most importantly. The stand-up comedian can start from Jammu Kashmir, go to Gujarat, Rajasthan, Chennai, Kerala, anywhere. But when it comes to humorous speech, there is a structure, there is an organization, there are transitions, and most importantly, there is a message which is called a specific purpose, which the speaker has to drive to the audience. Now, let me tell you a fundamental objective of humorous speech and the fundamental objective of stand-up comedy. The fundamental objective of stand-up comedy is to make people laugh or to entertain. I repeat, the fundamental objective of stand-up comedy is to make people laugh or to make people entertain. But the fundamental objective of a humorous speech is to deliver a message with humor as a weapon. I repeat, the fundamental objective of a humorous speech is to deliver a message to the audience with humor as a weapon. So make sure your humorous speech has a proper opening, body, conclusion, a specific purpose, which we'll talk about as we move ahead in the session. A quick yes in the chat box and thumbs up if this topic of difference between stand-up comedy and humorous speech is clear. Sandeep is very much happy to clear this difference. Okay, fine. Okay, shall we move ahead with the next concept? Now, how many of you know this concept called Sandhi Vichhed? In 8th class or 9th class, we used to study Sandhi Vichhed, where we used to bifurcate 2 words. Karya Karta, Karya plus Karta. Yes, no, maybe? Yes, all of us, right?
Yes.
We used to love that concept. Same thing applies to humorous speech as well. There are 2 words in it. Humor plus speech, which essentially means a humorous speech is a standard speech of Toastmasters, a standard contest speech of Toastmasters, which has all of its elements, as I told, opening, body, conclusion, everything, with humor sprinkled around it. I repeat, a humorous speech is nothing but a standard speech of Toastmasters, a contest speech, which has everything, opening, body, conclusion, structure, transitions, specific purpose, with humor sprinkled around it. Now, let's talk about this humor part later. Now let's concentrate on this speech part first. Now I want to understand where to start. Where do you people start when you had to write a humorous speech? Because a lot of people come to me during the contest and say, hey, Shiva, I want to write a humorous speech. On what topic should I write? So this is the general approach. Now similarly, I want to ask you people, when you had to write a speech, what is your approach? Especially a humorous speech or a contest speech. Okay, relatable. Okay, that everything is later. Once you have fixed for the idea, you fix the idea, that comes later. But how do you select? People say select a topic. What is your approach in selecting a topic?
Get an idea from your
comedy movies?
Relatable to your life. From your own life.
Relatable to your life.
Relatable to your life. Okay, I heard relatable to your wife. Sorry. Next. That's also an idea. Okay, fine. Next.
Related to spiritual.
Okay, related to spiritual. I think Toastmasters no sex, religion, politics. Okay, fine. Next. Offline crowd, please.
Some instances which have impacted me.
Okay, some instances which has impacted me. Good point. Anything else? Okay, topic most of the audience can connect. Good. Fine. Anything else? Online, offline? Okay.
Current affairs.
Day-to-day life. Yes.
Current affairs.
Okay, current affairs.
Observations from real
Bachelor.
Bachelor. Okay. Okay. Bachelor what? You want to narrate the difficulties of bachelors? Okay. Also spinsters. Subramaniam sir is telling. Okay. And someone else. Okay. Someone else was telling something.
Like it could be observations. For example, it could be anything which is hard to accept, like maybe getting married or getting to mid-age crisis, all those things which we see as observation, and we want people to pass that as a message out.
Great.
From the real life.
Good. Okay. I'll take one last answer from online and one from offline. Yes, sir. Great point. Anything else from online? Last answer. One last answer from online.
Not a response, but can you repeat what the last person offline said in offline?
Okay, Subramaniam sir said he will first select the message and then he'll look for the instances. Okay, no answers? Fine. Let me move ahead. Okay, how many of you first select a topic? If you're doing so, please stop it. Selection of topic is not at all recommended. Someone said, I'll speak on bachelors. Okay, bachelors. What will you speak about bachelors? What is there in it? Someone also gave me another example. Current affairs. What will you speak about current affairs? There's a holiday given by KCA for 2 days. No, right? Now, I will always recommend, as Subramaniam sir said, always select a message which you want to deliver to the audience. Now, why do I say always select a message to deliver to the audience? There are two things. First, selecting a message, you have a clear specific purpose. Second, I personally feel if you are selecting a message, it's something which you have learned in your life in a hard way. And you follow it in your life. And if you're following it in your life, then definitely there might be some instances which have helped you to learn that lesson, learn that message, and you are able to follow it in your life. Now, these instances will form the supporting material for your speech for a specific purpose. Now, it's not necessary that, these instances you should narrate these instances just like how they have happened. You have the liberty to exaggerate. You have the liberty to tweak the instances according to your wish. Now, second approach is this, which I do not recommend, but most of people follow is they collect few instances from their life. They put together as a form of speech, and then they think what kind of message I can derive from these instances. And then they modify their instances according to a specific purpose. That's what they do. So always select a message and then select for instances and then put them in a chronological order and make sure these instances are interrelated. There are proper transitions. There are proper opening, body, and conclusion. The message should be clear. No matter at which point of time, if I ask what is Shiva conveying to audience from his speech, the message should be the same. There should be no deviation in the message. Now, an important factor about the content of the speech, what I feel is always have a strong opening with a solid joke in it. Now, can anyone tell me why there should be a solid opening with a strong joke in the opening? Any answers?
To create a bond with the audience.
Okay, fine. Always, as you all said, if you have a strong opening and if you have a strong joke, people will laugh and you have grabbed the audience attention right from there, right from the beginning. Now, I also say, give a hint to the audience what exactly your message is going to be. Don't reveal it in the title. Say, see, this is my message, this is my title. No, always have a mysterious title, but give a hint to the audience that this is going to be my message. Now, speech is not a Ram Gopal Varma's movie where, you make audience wander for 1.5 hours and then you say, okay, this is what the story is. No, you have to give a hint to the audience within that 2 minutes till the time you say contest chair and fellow Toastmasters. A simple example which I gave in my humorous speech contest, I was anxiously waiting for a girl in Starbucks. I switched on my selfie camera, hair, tick, shirt, tick, me, romantic. I knew she had arrived when one of the guys said, oh, wow. As she waved and smiled towards me, one of them almost cried. This guy, How? Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters. I know I'm an STF, short, dark, and fat. But does that mean I'm inferior to others and I don't deserve a beautiful girl in my life? So now, when you heard this opening, can anyone of you tell me what could have been my specific purpose? Anyone?
Your looks don't matter.
Exactly. Okay. No, that's not the message. Anyone from the audience?
Stop being
You're talking about how to
judgmental.
deal with
Okay.
like
Simple. My message was you have to accept yourself the way you are. Your looks doesn't matter. That's it. So this is how I drafted my opening. At the same time, I cracked the joke, hey tick, shirt tick, me romantic. And I gave a simple hint to the audience. This is my message. I'm going to talk about this. Now, once you have established opening, a strong joke and a hint to the audience, play in those 5 minutes. Entire speech, crack jokes. Have a proper body language, have fun on stage, be shameless on stage. But when it comes to the conclusion, the last 1.5 minutes, get into the ISC mode. This is my personal suggestion. Now, ISC mode in the sense, International Speech Contest mode, where you have to end the speech with a proper message, with an effective conclusion. Now, I ended my speech like this. That day, I realized I was considering myself to be ugly because of few rejections I had because of my looks. But that day, that girl made me understand that I was beautiful in my own ways. Ladies and gentlemen, are you too an SDF or do you have any other problems related to your looks? Remember, you are beautiful in your own ways. Accept yourself. I did it. I found the beautiful me. What about you? Contest chair. So I went into this ISC mode. I did not have any joke here and I ended it again, reiterating my specific purpose. But if you feel, even if you crack a joke, your message is going to be very effective, you're going to close very effectively, then it's up to you. There's no harm in it. But I personally feel when you are trying to close the speech, get into the ISC mode, have a proper effective conclusion. That's it. A quick yes in the chat box and thumbs up if this concept of speech part is clear. Yes? Awesome. Now let's move on to the important part, that is how to add a humor. Now, as I told you, before telling the techniques, I have to tell you, if you want to make your speech hilarious or if you want to make your speech funny, not so serious, your approach should be fun. I can write the same speech which I've given today in an ISC mode, but my approach was different. That's why it became HSC. So before crafting any joke, make sure your approach is funny. Be crazy, think crazy, go crazy. Now, the first technique of adding humor is called setup and twist. We already know it, as I demonstrated in the beginning. Setup and twist is nothing but you build a serious story and then you tweak the audience expectations. It has two parts. You build a serious story, audience will expect something, but in the end, you will say something else because of which laughter is generated. Now, a classic example of this, after completing my graduation, before getting into the proper software job, I worked for customer service in Amazon for 3 months. Now, one fine day, my job was to answer calls and give resolution to the customers. Now, one fine day, a lady calls me and she says, Shiva, I've ordered Lotus seats and I have a problem with the package. Fine, this is a problem. Now, I asked her, ma'am, what is the problem? She said, no, there is a problem. Now, what will be your expectations? What might have been her problem? Any? Okay. Okay, not as per requirements in the sense, what do you mean? Lotus seats. Huh? Okay, some other seats. Anything else? Packaging didn't look good. Okay, fine. I told her if. Okay, you are close. Okay, fine. Okay, I told if the package is broken, I'll refund you. You will have your money. And anyone from the offline, what would have been her answer? Okay, you are close to it. Okay, you are close to it. Anyone from the offline? Anyone from the online? What might have been her answer?
Might be she did not know how to sow the seed.
Okay, fine. I'll tell you what she said. She said, I have a problem. I've sown seeds. Saplings are not coming out. She said this. I've sown seeds. Saplings are not coming out. Now you tell me what might have been my answer. Anyone from online? What might have been my answer? I told her, ma'am, have you watered the plants? I told her, literally, ma'am, have you watered the plants? That lady hung up and made an escalation. So this simple formula of setup and twist. Now, whenever a person calls, what is the problem? You just say, is the package damaged? You got a different package? No shit, iPhone, saplings are not coming. Now, my answer was, did you water them? That lady hung up the call. Setup and twist. A similar example where I heard in 2017's Ora Fest, this, from a speaker, it was a very good joke. That person came onto the stage and said, I write scripts. I'm a script writer. In a day, I spend 9 hours to write scripts. Yes, I write JavaScripts. So when someone says I'm writing a script, you will think that this person is an artist. He writes for movies, but he said, I write JavaScript. I'm a software employee. So setup and twist. So quick yes and thumbs up if this concept of setup and twist is clear. Fine. Now let's move on to the next topic, that is comparisons and references. Now the name itself says you are comparing and you're giving references to something. Now, few days ago, what happened is I went to Gokarna. Before going to Gokarna, we made a lot of plans that, you have to go to this place, that place. So there's a friend of mine, his name is Chandra, and there's a friend of mine, her name is Lakshmi. So we were deciding on the budget. So Lakshmi said, I'll take care of the budget. You people go home, come the evening. I went home, I came back, and then again returned to evening. I saw the budget. The budget was very impressive. I told her, Lakshmi, had I been the Modi, you would have been my Nirmala Sitaraman. Now you see, I'm comparing myself to Modi and Nirmala Sitaraman just to appreciate her work. So I'm comparing. Now, similarly, I think most of people know this joke because I'm famous for this joke in Toastmasters, where I cracked this joke about Shiva and Parvati. So I put a joke in my speech that I loved a girl in class 10th. Her name was Parvati. Shiva, Parvati. Parvati, Shiva. Uyyo, such a cute pair. I already dreamt of marrying her and naming our son Ganesh. So comparisons and references. So this is something which you can also use in your speech to add humor. A quick yes in the chat box if this concept of comparisons and references is clear. From online people? Great. Now let's move on to the next topic, that is wordplay. Wordplay is nothing but you use rhyming words or you play with the words. A simple trick, as I told you in the beginning, shirt tick, hair tick, me, romantic. Now similarly, there was a speaker, a very good speaker in Toastmasters veteran, where he used one of the words, a beautiful line saying, I love my wife. I'm king of Kinkoti. She was the princess of Panjagutta. I really love this line where he quoted, king of Kinkoti, prince of Panjagutta. So he's a veteran Toastmaster and really loved this line. I laughed a lot, when I heard this line. Now, similarly, I heard one more speech in YouTube from one of the Toastmasters where he says, my grandfather was a still photographer. When I grew up, he's still a photographer. Still photographer, still a photographer. So this was one of the jokes or one of the wordplay used by one of the Toastmasters from another district. Now, a quick yes in the chat box if this concept of wordplay is clear. Now, the next one is the short forms. I generally use this concept of short forms where, let's say CR, class representative, is an acronym of CR. Now, similarly, I used an acronym of IAS in my speech. Now, can anyone of you tell me what is the full form of IAS? Indian Administrative Officer. Now, this is how I used IAS in my speech. I was in class 10th and I loved my classmate was the girl who I loved was also my classmate. One day, the class teacher asked, what do you want to become in your life, students? Just to impress her. I stood up and said, ma'am, IAS. I want to become an IAS. To which my friend immediately told, Shiva, you're already an IAS. I said, how? You are invisible after sunset, IAS. So I'm giving IAS a complete different meaning here. Now, similarly, you might have heard HTML as well, a common full form which we use. What is HTML? Okay, what is HTML?
Hypertext markup language.
No, think as a humorous speaker. What is HTML? Okay, simple. HTML is how to mix lemon rice. How to mix lemon rice. Simple. I'm using a short form to generate humor. Similarly, there was a friend of mine. I went to him one day and he said, Shiva, Punugulu in USA is amazing, man. I said, Punugulu, USA? Yes. I stay in United States of America. So USA, United States of America. So this is also one of the acronyms which you can use to generate humor. A quick yes if this concept of acronyms is also fine. Now, the last concept which I'd like to discuss about adding humor is sarcasm. How many of you feel sarcasm is funny? True, right? Great. Now, yesterday, I'll give a small example. Yesterday, I went to this movie Kartikeya 2 and I was given the front row. So there's a small girl, little tiny girl sitting behind me and she kept on kicking my seat. I didn't say anything because she was a small girl. But during the interval, I said, hey, come here. She said, yes. I said, are you a football player? She said, no. Why? You're playing football with my mate throughout the first half, man. So even her mother laughed. So this is what I'm just using sarcasm to generate humor here. So this is a small trick and you have your own sarcasm imbibed in you. So you can use sarcasm as well. Humor. So the time is going on. So let's move on to the next topic. A quick yes if this is clear. Fine. Now, there is one more trick to add humor. That is your delivery. Your joke will be seen by the audience. Your joke can be listened by the audience. But if they have to feel the joke, you have to deliver it in a proper way. Correct? Yes, no? How many of you feel delivery is a crux of the humorous speech contest? Yes, right? Now, my tip to everyone about the delivery of humorous speech is be shameless on stage. Don't keep any inhibitions. Okay, what will someone think if I do this kind of accent? But it should be in line with the content which you're speaking. And again, there's no limit for the, having the body language. Now, let us say a simple, how many of you had assembly? And in assembly, we used to have news items, right? Assembly. Now, when I was a kid, I used to love to present the news item. Now, how does a news presenter reads the news? Let's say this is the example. CM KCR has declared 2 days of holidays considered continuous rains in Hyderabad. Now, this is how news is read. Now, if I go onto the stage and I say, CM KCR has declared 2 days of rains because of rains. Now, it's not in line, right? So that's the power of delivery. Make sure you are living the characters. Make sure you're playing the characters. When you are delivering the speech on stage, the person who is listening to you should visualize the speech. And that will happen only if you deliver it properly, only if you have proper voice modulation and body language on speech. A quick yes if this is clear. Now, so I'll not speak much about delivery because we are also short of time. Now, my last question is, a lot of people comes and ask me, Shiva, is message really important in humorous speech? Because some people told me, even if there is no message in speech, we can win humorous speech contest. Is it really important? How many of you feel that message is really important? And why do you feel message is important? I want a proper logical answer from you all. Yes, Subramaniam sir. Correctly check. Sorry? Yeah, you can go ahead. Someone knows answer. Is it Aditya?
So the message sticks to the people till the end. So it will go.
No, I want to understand. I want to know logical explanation from you people. Why is message important in humorous speech? Or if you say message is not important, even if we don't have message, chalega. I want your answer and I want a proper logical explanation from you.
Yes, messages.
Okay. Okay. Okay, fine. Someone from the online?
Yes, message is important, or else that humorous speech would be similar to the stand-up comedy. It won't.
Okay. Okay, it's a speech. It's not a stand-up comedy. I'll not take Subramaniam sir's answer. Okay, someone else? That's the logical one. Perfect. Okay, anyone from this side? Okay, fine. From online, I want a logical answer from you. Is message important? Yes. Logical answer? No. Logical answer. Exactly. Perfect. Anyone from the online?
Message is important. It makes message
Why?
is important. It will make it memorable and it will stick to you as well.
Okay, fine. Before telling message is memorable, before telling you, something should be there in the audience, first look at the ballot. Look at the ballot. In ballot, Humor has only 15 marks. Humor comes under content and it has only 15 marks. Out of 55, there's only 15 marks for humor. That is called audience response. The remaining marks are for your message, are for your structure, are for your whatever it is, transitions, everything. So the logical answer is your message is important because humor has only 15 marks out of 55 marks of content. So if someone says message is not important, that is not true. Make sure when you're drafting a humorous speech, have a ballot in front of you and then draft speech accordingly. See, there are instances where a person did not have a lot of humor, but he followed the guidelines of the ballot and he won the contest. There are instances. So I do not say give equal importance to humor and message. I say give 30% of importance to humor, 70% of importance to the content. And one more tip while selecting the message, because a lot of people say, what if my jokes fail? It happened with me because I was a college student in 2017. I participated in club level. I won because my speech was about backlogs and engineering subjects. When I came to area, I miserably failed because audience in area level did not connect to my speech. So make sure whenever you're selecting a message or instances, it should be at least 50% related to your audience. And you should have a message, you should have humor. As I told you, 30% humor, 70% content. So with this, I will end my session here. Okay. Sure. Okay. 5 minutes. I don't have them. Okay, I don't want to deliver it. I have it in my phone. Just a second. So if you see here, the ballot, as I told you, the content part, it has 55 marks. So the first segment of content is the speech development, which talks about your opening, body, conclusion. Now, second one is the effectiveness, which talks about your specific purpose, your message. And also how you have built the stories, is the story giving the same message? Is every story which you have given is giving the same message or not? And also the third thing is the speech value. That's what the specific purpose. And also, did the speaker follow that message or is just giving the message? Is there a credibility in that speech or not? And the third part, as I told you, the fourth part is the audience response. Did the audience laugh for the jokes? As simple as that. Now, the second one is your delivery. Delivery again has the 30 marks. Physical, as I told you, how you look on the stage, even appearance matters. And also as I told you, your voice modulation and also your manner. Now, manner in the sense how confident you are on stage. Are you fumbling on stage? Are you nervous? Everything counts. Now, the second thing is appropriateness, correctness. This is something, which related to your language and your grammar. This comes the least. But make sure you not have the grammatical mistakes in your speech. Get it mentored before going on to the stage. As simple as that. So I hope I made it clear. If there are any questions, I'm open to answer. 5 minutes for quick Q&A.
Shiva, I'm having one question.
Okay, is it Samiksha?
Yes.
Yeah, Samiksha. You can turn on your video, Samiksha.
It won't be possible for me now.
Fine.
I'm having a question. Actually, when you talked about how to select a topic, I didn't got that point.
Okay, how to select? So that's what I told you. Never select a topic. Select a message which you want to deliver to the audience. Now, my message, as I told you, was to accepting yourself the way you are. I gave this topic, I selected this topic because I feel this. Because ever since my childhood, I was bullied in my school because of my looks or whatever it is. But then when I grew up, when I met my real friends, they started to enjoy my company. They started to understand my personality and what I am exactly. So that's when I understood that, I'm beautiful in my own ways. So that's how I selected this topic. Similarly, I gave another HSC where I went to division level and I came back. The topic was about expectations. And the message was simple. Don't expect and get hurt. Go with the flow. The title was Expectations Do Hurt. I selected this message because I wanted to become, a software engineer. I wanted to study in computer science engineering, but I got an electrical engineer. There was a girl whom I liked really, but when I proposed her, she rejected my expectations. Third, and the third one is that, something happened. I wanted to get into proper IT job, software job, but I went into customer service where my expectations are. But then I realized if you crib about those expectations which you got hurt and you stay there, nothing is going to happen. You have to accept the way it is, and you have to move on in your life. So expectations do hurt. So this is the message which I believe, and that's when I had few instances in my life which I can support this message. That's how I crafted a speech. Similarly, even you might be believing in something, and you might have few incidents relating to that. So you have to pick up those instances, and then you have to draft a speech. It's not necessary that you go in a chronological order, you sit and draft a proper speech. No. Vomit, puke, whatever is there in your mind, and then you organize the speech. That is the right idea. I hope I answered that question.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
You have to move on, that's it. See, trust. See, what will you do? See, contest. What will you do? Let's say you are speaking here on division level contest. See, nobody will pause there if someone is not laughing. Trust me, nobody will laugh. Okay, you said my joke is not working. Will you improvise your speech there? Trust me, it will not work at all. It's better you move on. Don't get stuck. Okay, people are not laughing. What should I do? Correct.
I have one question.
1 second. 1 second. We are taking one question. It's simple. It's simple. See, first test it with your friends. If it's working, well and good. But the speech which is working in club might not work in area. So you have to be, the topic and the story should be universal. At least 50% relatable to every 50% universal, I say. If the joke is not working, don't get stuck there. Move on. At least you might lose 15 marks in audience response. But if your speech is good, opening body confusion, specific purpose, you will get those marks at least. There's a good chance for you to win the contest. Yeah. Even I said. Correct. Even I cursed that day when I came back from this. Bad judges. Simple. Okay. Any other question?
I have one question.
Yes, Imran.
What happened? I failed to inculcate proper timing in the speech. Once in my speech, I said my daughter was so fond of pink. Once she even demanded for pink groom, and nobody laughed at that point. So how to inculcate proper timing like a punch? And after that, my entire speech was ruined, and I got a little bit disturbed that nobody laughed at my joke. So see, how to tackle this situation?
Everything depends on your delivery, first of all, and then you have to give a proper pause. Now there might be multiple reasons why your joke failed. It might be funny to you, but at the same time, what you told, audience might not know what exactly that is. Now, a lot of people come to me and tell me about friends. Trust me, I don't know anything about friends. So that is a problem here. So your joke might not be relatable, or else you did not deliver it in a proper way, or you did not give a proper pause there for audience to absorb the joke. You didn't pause there and you just moved on with the joke without waiting for the audience to laugh. So these might be 3 reasons. Make sure it is relatable and make sure you wait. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah, one more question. Hello. Yeah, just wanted to ask, this is related to the question the person also asked. So in case somebody is not laughing at our joke, can we use that against the audience in a joking manner, that maybe the timing of the speech is itself, maybe it's afternoon and everybody's dozing off. So can we use that as a joke?
Sir, you can use it, but as long as you're not ruining your speech, you're not ruining your stage time. If you have that confidence to be spontaneous on stage, go ahead. But at the same time, don't deviate from your speech, deviate from your stories and specific purpose. That's it. But it's very risky to be spontaneous on stage when it's contest. Don't do that. If people are not laughing, well and good. As I told you, audience response has 15 marks. But if other part of your speech is good, you'll get at least those 85 marks, right? So if people are not laughing, better luck next year. You can give another HSC next year.
Correct.
Anything else? Anyone from offline, online? So yeah, so I think Pragya showed me the red card. So with this, I end my session here. I hope you liked the session, and I wish you all a very good luck. And I hope one of you from this crowd or one of you from this online meeting wins all those 3 titles of district level, first place, second place, and third place. Thank you so much, Pragya. Thank you so much, Sandeep.